Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with the report of another PlayStation exclusive live service game ending support coming from PlayStation Lifestyle. Square Enix announced Foamstars' next season will be its last, titled Party Goes On. The next season takes place between December 13th, 2024 and January 17th, 2025. After that, the developer will cease creating seasonal content for the multiplayer shooter. Although Foamstars' seasonal updates will no longer occur, that doesn't mean it won't be playable. In fact, Square Enix is introducing a few new features once the upcoming season ends. The next update will introduce expansions to enhance gameplay. This includes the ability to customize shots for each character and new enhancement elements. In Square Enix's statement, they say these implementations are there to ensure players can continue to enjoy the game for the foreseeable future. This implies Foamstars is here to stay for a while. So I don't know how many of you listening to this care about Foamstars. Maybe most of you forgot about it. But yeah, it's another, I would say, failed live service attempt, this time from both Square Enix and Sony kind of partnering together on this one. And I don't think it's surprising at all, but there you go. Moving on to the next topic, we have a patch for Until Dawn for PS5 that fixes apparently some trophy issues. Again, from PlayStation Lifestyle, Ballistic Moon rolled out Until Dawn Remake PS5 PC Update 1.08 yesterday, which finally fixes its Shining trophy, which was preventing many from unlocking the Platinum. The trophy can now be popped via Episode Select. The patch also brought a number of bug fixes and improvements across both platforms. And so there is a relatively significant list here. From what I can tell, it looks like it's fixing just a lot of basic bugs, like for example fixes stuttering issues for Mike in the sanatorium in chapter 9. Josh's character screen now appears in chapter 10. The shader compilation startup process has been changed, and the list kind of goes on here. So just a lot of technical bug fixes, it seems. But for those who were playing Until Dawn Remake and trying to get that Platinum trophy, it's been fixed. Moving on to the next topic, we have a report regarding how Sony is apparently really pushing PlayStation tournaments now with their first ever live event. Being reported by Push Square, PlayStation Tournaments XP has just been announced. It'll be the first ever PlayStation Tournaments live event, and it's taking place in London on January 18th. Naturally, you'll have to win some online competitions to actually get there. Qualifiers begin today. This was reported a couple days ago on PS5 with Tekken 8 and FC 25 tournaments. Then starting from December 6th, there will be qualifiers for both Astrobot and Fortnite. For the full rundown on all of the qualification business, you can visit the official PlayStation Tournaments XP website. So yeah, there's likely going to be some pretty fierce competition there. Sony's been promoting its PlayStation Tournaments initiative for a while now, and plenty of third-party publishers have been keen to join in, if only to get their games some additional reach. And to be fair, these online competitions do tend to attract an audience. PlayStation often live streams specific tournaments on YouTube and Twitch, so it'll be interesting to see how hard it pushes this big live event in London. And so it says here, qualifying players from across the globe and the competitive gaming community on PS5 will represent teams Triangle, Circle, Cross, and Square to earn points during the competition and vie for the title of champion, in addition to winning exclusive prizes. That's what it said on the PlayStation blog. So I don't know how relevant this is to most of you, but yeah, PlayStation Tournaments is something that Sony has been continuing to kind of build up, and it seems like this is their biggest push so far with an actual live event. So let me know your thoughts. Moving on to the next set of topics. These are not, I would say, directly PlayStation related, but more indirectly related, but very significant nonetheless. We have two rumors regarding consoles that, if they're true, especially the first one we're going to go over, they're going to have a pretty significant impact potentially on PlayStation. So the first rumor comes from Insider Gaming, where it says rumors pointing to a new Steam console from Valve. Valve appears to be developing a new standalone Steam console for players, according to recent rumors and findings from various Valve data miners. The Washington-based company is working on a new traditional system known as Fremont, along with the Steam Controller 2 and Deckard VR. In a series of posts on social media, Valve insider Brad Lynch posted what he considers to be signs of the new Steam OS hardware. First, he discussed why it couldn't be a dock for current devices like the Steam Deck. Lynch said that the evidence suggests a full-size HDMI port being hardwired to the card directly as opposed to being connected via USB-C. All references to Fremont ensure checks for a full-size HDMI Type A port that you'd see on TV-focused consoles and other desktop computers that don't have a dedicated GPU with its own HDMI ports. In other data areas, it shows AMD Lilac board being used for development, while the final board is completed with firmware specifically developed for this new device being worked on as well. It's also shown that Quanta Computer, the manufacturer of the Steam Deck, is providing feedback on the new system. Valve has not commented on any of the rumors, and as such, everything here should be taken with a grain of salt until it's confirmed. It's worth noting, however, that the company is approaching the 10-year anniversary of when it released the first Steam controller and Steam machines. So this is a report and a rumor that's starting to kind of gain momentum and traction, and people are now, some people I should say, convinced that Valve is going to make a relatively serious play for the home console market with a dedicated Steam console. And we know that Valve tried to do this previously unsuccessfully with the Steam machines, and it seems to me that the biggest problem with the Steam machines was they were kind of all over the place. It was just like too much for the market to handle at one time, where there was like every company making a Steam machine, and it was just, I think, overwhelming. If Valve tries to go for the more streamlined approach here with a single box that, you know, could be priced at like $500-$600 or something like that, and maybe even have a new game, I actually have seen people speculating that Half-Life 3 is going to be the launch exclusive that's going to, you know, be there in time for this console. Obviously, these are all just rumors, and a lot of it is speculation, but it does seem that there is evidence that this is something Steam is pursuing, and to me, it's very, very interesting, because if Steam were to make a very serious play for the home console market, I do wonder how this would influence PlayStation, you know, what type of impact it could have. Honestly, I'm all for it. I hope it's true. I think the more competition that is there in the console space for PlayStation, the better. So I'll keep you guys updated, but let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the next topic, we actually have a rumor regarding the Switch 2. Being reported by WCCF Tech, it says a Nintendo Switch 2 focused event is being planned for May, suggesting together with industry chatter that the console could be released this June. In the latest episode of their podcast, well-known insider Nate Drake provided an update on the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal timing and potential release date, commenting on the rumored June release window for the system that's been making the rounds in the past few days. The insider mentioned that as of late September, early October, there's been a lot of industry chatter that placed the Nintendo Switch 2 release window between May to June. There's still some uncertainty regarding this, but partners and publishers have been considering it as the release window for the system for the time being. While Nate Drake could not confirm if the Nintendo Switch 2 is indeed releasing in late May to June release window, the insider did reveal that an event focused on the system is currently being planned for May. The nature of the event is not clear, but it could be similar to January's 2017 event where Nintendo invited the media for some hands-on time with the original Switch. If the Japanese company was following a similar time frame, the timing of the event suggests that the Nintendo Switch 2 could indeed be released in June, which would be a great time to launch a new system with the hands-on opportunities that could be afforded during summer events like Summer Game Fest and PAX East to generate more buzz. So yeah, this is the latest we're hearing about the Nintendo Switch 2. I think a lot of people are eagerly anticipating the announcement of this console and the reveal of it, but it does seem like it might actually take a little bit longer than expected. It's, I would say, a little bit surprising to hear that they may be pushing it all the way back to May and then releasing it in June. I think a lot of people were expecting it to be revealed before the end of this year, or at the very least early next year, but it seems like Nintendo's going to wait just a little bit longer there. So let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the final topic of the video, it is a rumor regarding a potential Ubisoft buyout. Being reported by Push Square, says Ubisoft's tumultuous 2024 continues, Word of a potential buyout is starting to spread again as the publisher struggles to right itself following a series of poor decisions, layoffs, and general mismanagement. Back in October, it was reported that shareholders, including Chinese conglomerate Tencent, are weighing up a buyout and turning the publisher private. This is basically a recurrence of that story, although it sounds like talks between said shareholders and Ubisoft bigwigs are more advanced now. Two anonymous sources have told Reuters that the Guillemot family, the company's largest shareholder, with co-founder Yves Guillemot still serving as Ubisoft CEO, wish to retain control of the business, while other shareholders, like Tencent, buy the publisher out of its current financial woes. However, it said that Tencent hasn't committed to anything yet because it's trying to negotiate a greater degree of control over Ubisoft as a whole. It's speculated that the Chinese giant is simply biding its time. There could soon come a point where other parties attempt a hostile takeover of Ubisoft, and the publisher will have little choice but to agree to the terms with Tencent and its surrounding shareholders. So there's been a lot of talk going around about Ubisoft being bought up, and for some reason I've been seeing quite a few people talking about a made-up rumor that Sony is in talks to buy out Ubisoft, but there is literally nothing that indicates that whatsoever, and it's highly unlikely Sony would ever buy a company like Ubisoft for a multitude of reasons. But putting that aside, it does seem like Ubisoft is going to end up being purchased by somebody or being bought out, and I do think at this point in time Tencent is the most likely. It seems like that's where this is headed. It's unfortunate. Ubisoft has just taken a really steep, downturn, I guess we could say, and it seems like they're beginning to spiral. They're trying to stop that from happening, but it seems like they might not be able to. So there you go. That's the latest update regarding the potential Ubisoft buyout. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.